to The World is Mine Oyster Kitchen. I'm here with Chef Stephen Richards, our 2014 People's Choice Clawdown winner who won by a landslide a month ago at our 3rd annual Clawdown at the Ocean Point Marina in East Blue Flag. Hi, Steve.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege.
So, I know you're really excited to go to Harvest on the Harbor in less than a week. Actually, Friday we're going to be there,
yeah.
and that's October 24th.
Bright and early.
Yes, and you're one of the 3 chefs in the Hood Bay region that's been selected to go to the Lobster Chef of the Year competition. How does that make you feel?
Excited, happy. It's such a opportunity for myself and for the restaurant. We're going to be going up against some pretty talented chefs, and you know, for me, it's going to be exciting to see how we match up, how our lobster bite matches up to their lobster bites. If that competition is as fierce as Clawdown, we're in for it. So
tell us a little bit about Clawdown, because I remember coming to you at the first Clawdown when I was recruiting all the chefs, and I came up to you and I said, I'm Cherie Scott, I'm from the Chamber, and we had this awesome event. It's going to be a lobster bite competition, and we need you to participate in it. And you literally jumped out of your chair and high-fived me, and I can't ever thank you enough for that. It was just awesome. But you didn't win the first year, and the second year we had some issues. You want to tell us about that?
Sure. Yeah. The second year we were amped up to get involved, and we had a really different bite planned for it. And unfortunately, I ruptured my Achilles.
Right.
You
it
know,
was like a week
3 days, 3 or 4 days before it. Yeah. And and I had to have surgery and all that, and couldn't make it. So I had a lot of time to sit on my couch and think about what we were going to do for Clawdown 3, and it was amazing to win the People's Choice Award.
All right, so tell us about the landslide winning bite. And tell us exactly what it was, how you made it, and hopefully one day we'll get a demo in your kitchen, because today we're not going to prep that bite. But tell us about that Clawdown winning bite. Everybody wants to know.
That bite was inspired by actually one of our appetizers here at Mine Oyster.
Yeah.
We have a tasso cheddar mac and cheese here, and I thought, you know, lobster mac and cheese is getting more and more popular.
Yeah.
Crispy fried is getting more and more popular. So we did a crispy fried lobster Gruyere mac and cheese. It was topped with a Backyard Farms truffle tomato concasse, and a Chiron sauce, which is a tomato shallot hollandaise with a buttered lobster claw. It worked because it's a play on a classic lobster Gruyere dish, and it worked because it was crunchy. You know, it was hot, it was crunchy, and I feel like
comfort food.
And people were familiar with it. So
who doesn't like gourmet lobster mac and cheese, and then it's fried on top of that.
Yeah.
And then you had this big giant claw sitting on it, and then you had line all the way out the door. How many bites did you make that night?
472, I believe. It was.
Wow.
It was a lot of work for about 2.5 hours.
Right, but it was a big win for you because you really won this landslide.
We wanted it bad.
Yeah.
We wanted it really bad, and it's why we're here today. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me why you decided to change your bite for Harvest on the Harbor, because I know the competition is amped up for the Lobster Chef of the Year, and that was an awesome bite that you made. But knowing you, Steve, and I know what you're like, you really like to push yourself, challenge yourself in the kitchen. So tell us all about the new bite that you come up for the biggest competition of the year.
I really struggled with it. Go with the lobster Gruyere mac and cheese that people seem to like, or do something different. I think the clientele is different. I think here in the Mid-Coast, you know, Hood Bay Harbor, we're looking for comfort food, familiar food, and I believe at Harvest on the Harbor, they might be looking for something that's a little bit more over the top. So I took a big chance and did almost like a Halloween-inspired lobster bite.
That's awesome.
We haven't even tested it yet. Today's gonna be the first time.
Yeah, well, we're excited. We're in the kitchen with you today, and the best part about it is that you're going to be in the kitchen with us today, and you're going to follow Chef Steve and see how he puts this bite together. And when he does win big, or even if he doesn't win big, it doesn't really matter. You get to be the lucky ones to come in here and try it next season at Mine Oyster, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be on the menu.
The lobster
As a
Gruyere,
special.
the lobster Gruyere mac and cheese is definitely going to be on the menu.
Yeah, that's a winner.
We can put Chef's Choice Award next to it. You know, it's nice to be able to put that on a menu. So, and if this bite wins at Harvest on the Harbor, then we'll throw that on there too. So.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get started. So you want to tell us about your bite and what it's
Sure.
doing? Okay.
What we're going to do at Harvest on the Harbor, and it's a tongue twister, so bear with me. It's going to be a pumpkin powdered lobster mascarpone chestnut crispy polenta bar. It's going to be topped with a fig gastrique, brown butter froth, a peppered pancetta chip, and last but not least, a 24-hour cold smoked lobster claw.
Awesome.
It's definitely Halloweenish, it's fallish. It was inspired by a scratch and sticker in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
That had a little witch on it. It was orange and black, and when you scratched it, it smelled like smoke. And for some reason, that's inspired this dish. It's not going to be a crazy colorful dish. It's going to be, you know, your browns and greens, and it's all about fall. So we're going to start with this is our polenta bar. And as you can see, it's loaded with lobster meat. And I'm going to slide right behind Sri here. And we're going to put it in our deep fryer. And
so tell us about, let's stop with the polenta, because that's awesome. That's like the core of your bite, other than the lobster. So what exactly is polenta?
Polenta is nothing more than cornmeal that's boiled in stock. Whatever you want, it's versatile.
Right.
We're boiling it in lobster stock that we make from lobster bodies. We're going for bold lobster flavor. There's some very intrusive flavors in this lobster bite, so we really need the lobster to be the highlight. So it's nothing more than 2 parts of stock to 1 part cornmeal boiled down to a porridge, and then we flavor it with the lobster meat, the chestnuts, and the mascarpone. We pour it into a pan, and we let it set until it's this is a stiff polenta. So
it feels a little like a bar.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So we want to let it set, and then overnight, and the next morning, we're going to cut it into whatever shape we want. This particular one was a bar. So.
You know what I like about this is that you can slice it in half, and you can make these little petite bites for Thanksgiving. How nice would that be? You got the pumpkin in there, you got lobster in there, you got chestnuts, right? It's like a really yummy, simple thing to make.
Polenta is great because you can do so many different things with it. If you want to do lobster, you do lobster. If you want to do wild mushrooms, mushrooms. Use different cheeses, blue cheese, Asiago, whatever you want.
It's really versatile ingredient.
You can do soft polenta, stiff polenta, fried polenta.
So we're doing the fried today.
We're doing the crispy fried.
Fry it. Awesome. So
okay.
Let's,
so while the polenta bar is getting crispy.
So what do we have here? All our ingredients.
This is, we have peppered pancetta chips. We have some pumpkin oil here. What we're calling our Lobster Demi, which was the hidden ingredient at Clawdown.
Awesome.
Pumpkin powder, the fig gastrique, some brown butter froth, and
can you tell us about that pumpkin oil? How do you infuse your oil, or do you buy it locally from here?
Honestly, we bought the pumpkin oil from Sid Wainer. I can't make it. I believe they press it out of seeds. They roast pumpkin seeds, and they press it, and that's why it's so expensive. You don't get very much out of pumpkin seeds.
But big flavor with that.
Huge flavor.
Is it kind of a nutty flavor?
Absolutely.
So it's kind of warm.
People mistake sometimes the pumpkin flavor for pumpkin pie spice. It's not cinnamon. It's not nutmeg. It's pumpkin. So I'm going to start with taking some of these greens. We're going to use microgreens at the contest. We'll pick that up.
So tell us I know he's not going to tell us, but tell us what's in the secret winning Clawdown sauce you have there.
Well, this is lobster. We're calling it lobster gloss, and all it is lobster claws roasted and boiled down to a thickness and consistency and color of this. Wow. It's heavy lobster flavor, and that's the gloss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the polenta, add it here, and obviously what you want to do is you always want to season. Season whatever comes out of the fry later.
Wow, look at that. Looks like a brownie almost.
Nice and crispy.
It's nice and crispy.
So then we're going to take some pumpkin powder and just dust it, It just gives it a little
almost looks like cinnamon sugar on it.
That's what we're kind of going for in a way.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us about the pumpkin powder, because how does one go get pumpkin powder in the store? I've never seen it. So what do you do?
You have to roast pumpkin.
Yeah.
And then dehydrate it, and then put it in a food processor and process it into a powder. And it doesn't last long. It will get wet and not usable. So that's perfect at this point. And then what we're going to do is we're going to top it with a little fig gastrique. Not too much, just a little bit. And the gastrique is nothing more then a reduction of vinegar and sugar, and whatever you want to put in it. You can put apples in it, you can put bananas in it, onions, whatever. This is just...
You chose figs.
We chose figs because that's going to tie it together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to pull all those ingredients together. How long does something like that take to make? Like if you wanted to make a gastrique, it sounds like a really fancy technique, but
It's
really
simple.
all it is, it's reduction.
You could actually take a cup of vinegar and a cup of sugar and some figs and boil it down until it gets to a sticky consistency, and you have a gastrique. Of course, we take it to different levels because that's what we do as chefs, but it's simple.
Tell us one of your levels. What's the level? What do we need to do to get all the inside tips?
Well, these figs weren't just thrown in the oven and roasted. We roasted them on our wood-fired grill.
Cool.
So it gives it that Halloweeny, fall-y, smoky flavor.
Can I try?
Sure. And we scented it with a little bit of rosemary and...
That's delicious.
That's it.
Do I smell onions or taste onions?
There's onions. There's a little bit of onion in it.
I think Steve's holding out on us.
And,
Steve,
so we can't give you all the ingredients.
Well, come on. I mean, because this is going to be a prize-winning bite, so we got to know what's behind the scenes here.
Well,
so make us better chefs.
It's just a small amount of shallot. I'm surprised you even tasted it.
I tasted that. It
You know, I think there's maybe a quarter of a fine diced shallot in there.
It's
to kind of, I didn't want it to be all fig and vinegar and sugar. I needed something a little bit more savory. So
you need to bottle that up.
well, we'll see.
Yeah,
you know?
you need to do that seriously, because see, that's the kind of stuff that just takes whatever dish you're making it to the next level of flavor, and then you have all this interplay of all these different flavors. That's delicious, because when I take a bite into them, which I can't wait to do, by the way, I don't see any forks, so there better be a fork
I got
somewhere
this
around
forks
here.
behind you. You know, little ones.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
next we're gonna put just a little tiny bit of brown butter froth.
Please explain to me what that is. I've heard that so many times this year at Claudon, and it sounds like I've heard brown butter crema,
Yep,
brown
it's
butter
getting
froth.
big.
So what exactly is it? You just take butter and...
Well, brown butter's getting big. It's burnt noisette, and it's nothing more than burnt butter, but not too burnt. You take some butter, melt it down, and let it get amber in color, and then it has a nutty flavor to it. It's awesome. It's awesome for finishing vegetables. It's awesome for... I just love the flavor, and it's getting big. So now you're starting to see it. Now you're starting to see it on a lot more menus, and it's on our menu here at Mine Oyster.
It kind of looks like fresh churned butter in a way.
Yeah,
but I know this isn't brown butter from a pan, so what do? Do you aerate it or something to get some...
Well, we did. We took an ISI foamer.
That's a pretty cool...
you know, and...
we want that for Christmas.
And we use gas, N2O gas, and you know, it's just brown butter, cream, and a little bit of gelatin, and then of course you give it one of these.
It's like making a brown butter cappuccino.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So that's that. We're going to top it with a peppered. You can see the pepper, pancetta chip. You know, give it a little bit of that.
You got to get your pork in there, I guess.
Yeah, you know, a little
pumpkin and pork.
A little garnish. You know, right here. We'll just kind of do that. Get some blue on there, purples.
That's pretty.
You know, give it. We like this at Claudon. We put one of these on there because it's lobster.
What was that? That was very pretty.
It's lobster antenna.
Wow, that's cool.
So
awesome.
Just a little pumpkin oil, not too much because you want it to stay clean.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just a little something for color. And
is that like a pumpkin puree you got
sure.
there? Or?
And last but not least, just some kind of sprinkle garnish to, you know, there it is.
It's awesome. Happy Thanksgiving and happy harvest on the harbor right there for you on a plate.
Wish us luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. That was delicious. But before we close, can I try it?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, awesome.
And
just the best part of the job. You get to try everything in the kitchen.
Sure.
Awesome.
I hope you like it.
Wow.
And you know, this bite is, you know, we're trying to really, it's all meant to try and get a little piece of everything. And
great, and I want to kind of get that delicious gastrique in there. Wow, that is really yummy. What I love about it is that
don't forget,
it's got that
24 hours.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
We never talked about this actually. This is like the most amazing technique, kind of gotten really popular now, and it's the smoked flop, right? So tell us about the smoked flop.
For me, when I moved to Maine, I remember my uncles doing a lobster bake, and they did it in the ground. You know, they did it with seaweed and all day long, drinking lots of beer and clams and corn. And I remember the lobster tasting smoky because they cooked on wood outside.
Right, right.
And you don't see the old school lobster bakes anymore because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, I'm lucky enough to have a smoker here, and what we do is we blanch the claws real quick, the lobsters really quick, and then we break the claws off and we put them in the smoker and we smoke them for
So that's the smoker right there?
24 hours
Wow.
at less than 84 degrees to keep it, you want it cold smoked.
Right.
So
Is that something you can buy for a residential kitchen, or do you have to buy it at the commercial brand?
no, and I recommend, you can go to Lowe's. I started out smoking on a Lowe's
This is delicious.
household smoker, one that,
Experimenting.
yeah.
What kind of chips do you use for yours?
Right now I'm experiencing, apple, mesquite. There's not a ton of difference, believe it or not. It just picks up the smoke
Smokiness.
really nice.
Yeah. But what I love about this bite, and I didn't get to tell you, is that I love the crunch on the outside.
Creme
So
brulee
you get
effect.
That creme brulee effect, right? So you crunch into it, and then you've got this gooey, soft, melty mascarpone, polenta, creamy, with the
Yeah.
crunch of the chestnut again, which is really cool.
That's what we were going for.
And then at the end of it, you just get this beautiful claw, like sitting on your palate. It's so delicious. I'm just gonna pop this one. This
Yeah.
is delicious. Yummy. So, the pancetta. Do you think doing pork and lobster go? I mean, how do you feel about that? Because they're both very strong.
Yeah. For me, this dish needed something else, and
That's
I'm
delicious.
not sure if for me it works, but that's the
No,
great
it
thing
does
about. For me, the great thing about cooking is everyone has a different idea of what's good and what's
Right.
not. I was lucky enough in Plowdown for people to think that was good,
Right.
and I hope that they'll think this is good. They might not like the pancetta. The
Right.
gastrique might be too much for them.
I will tell you this, there's a lot going on the plate, but that's the kind of guy you are. You're a
Yes.
super complicated chef, and you really push yourself, and that's Steve on a plate right there. Honestly, knowing him, he's such an intricate chef. He's detailed, he layers everything. Complex man we have here in this kitchen, but it shows on the plate, and that's what's awesome about it. So yeah, so this is great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you next week on Friday at Harvest on the Harbor in Portland.
Thank
Let's go
you.
big and let's
Let's get
win
it.
big. Awesome. Thanks, Chief.